You could take a guy like Canelo. This guy could do. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Floyd Mayweather has once again thrown himself into the center of boxing's biggest conversation. Following Canelo Alvarez's latest battle, the undefeated icon turned his attention toward Terence "Bud" Crawford, creating instant speculation about a possible showdown. Mayweather has never been shy about his belief that he belongs among the sport's greatest, and this latest move suggests he may still be interested in testing himself against another elite name. Crawford, meanwhile, has established himself as one of the most dangerous pound-for-pound fighters of this generation. The possibility of these two sharing the ring has fans wondering whether boxing could be heading toward another unforgettable chapter.
Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. You only have to win 7, 10-9 rounds clear, and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes, never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
Terence Crawford added another historic achievement to his resume by defeating Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision and capturing the undisputed super middleweight championship. The blockbuster contest took place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 13, 2025, drawing enormous attention from the boxing world. Crawford entered the fight after moving up 2 divisions, facing an opponent who naturally possessed greater size and considerable punching power. Yet instead of allowing those advantages to dictate the contest, Bud relied on timing, movement, precision, and intelligent combinations. Round after round, he managed to control the rhythm and prevent Canelo from turning his physical strength into a decisive advantage.
What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I love the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was gonna go. I didn't think the weight was gonna be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record as saying I didn't think it was gonna be a problem. But it stood to be seen, it needed to be seen, and I knew we would have known after the first, second, or third round. You feel what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo was respecting his jab and how Canelo was respecting his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was gonna go. And I knew that Bud was only gonna get stronger and get bolder, and start to wear him down, because Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in the later round.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax and saying that, Bud. I've been on wax and saying that for a couple of years now. I bet against Bud on Spence. I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, but he hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease.
Right?
You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans, and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, not Canelo, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take...
Before the fight, Mayweather made his confidence in Crawford clear by backing him financially. despite Bud entering the matchup as the betting underdog, Floyd reportedly put $50,000 on Crawford to win outright at plus 148 odds. Once Crawford completed the upset with a unanimous decision, that prediction turned into a major payday, reportedly returning $124,000. More importantly, the wager revealed just how strongly Mayweather believed in Crawford's ability to solve the Canelo puzzle. Floyd wasn't simply betting against the favorite, he was putting money behind a fighter whose technical abilities he clearly respected.
Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we'll hear from Canelo, we're gonna hear from Crawford, and I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Money Mayweather, bet on Crawford and make some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals. So I don't expect anything.
Mayweather has gone even further when discussing Crawford's position among the world's elite. In his view, Bud currently sits at the very top of the pound-for-pound rankings. Crawford's victory over Canelo only strengthened that argument, especially considering that he had moved up multiple weight classes to accomplish it. Floyd has praised Crawford's discipline, versatility, and ability to consistently neutralize high-level opposition. From Mayweather's perspective, pound-for-pound greatness is about more than collecting championship belts. It's about stepping into difficult situations and proving that your skills can overcome the very best fighters available. By that standard, Floyd believes Crawford has earned the #1 spot.
Now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford.
Crawford's respect for Mayweather goes back much further than this recent conversation. He has admired not only Floyd's defensive ability, but also the way Mayweather carefully constructed his career, protected his legacy, and turned his name into a global business. Over the years, that respect developed into a personal connection between the two fighters. Crawford has received advice from Mayweather on different aspects of boxing, and he has reportedly taken those lessons seriously. Rather than simply listening to Floyd's experience, Bud has attempted to incorporate some of that knowledge into his own career. Their relationship represents an interesting meeting of two fighters who understand that becoming great requires more than talent alone.
How you be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boss. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd. Nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type.
Canelo Alvarez himself added fuel to the debate when he reportedly offered a blunt assessment of Crawford compared with Mayweather. During a press conference, Alvarez stated that he believed Crawford was considerably better than Floyd. The comment carried extra weight because Canelo had already shared the ring with Mayweather back in 2013, suffering the first professional defeat of his career at just 23 years old. Crawford's later performance against Alvarez gave supporters of that argument plenty to discuss. Bud displayed exceptional hand speed, lateral movement, defensive awareness, and counterpunching throughout the 12-round contest. Even after moving up 2 weight divisions, he found ways to minimize Canelo's power while repeatedly creating scoring opportunities with accurate counters and calculated attacks.
TV right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
my
2,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night? And if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because imagine. So I cannot think in that way, but I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than
Canelo's comments did not go unanswered. Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, pushed back against the idea that Crawford had already surpassed his nephew. Jeff suggested that praising Crawford so highly could also help Canelo reshape the narrative surrounding his own defeat. His argument was simple. If Crawford is considered superior to Floyd, then losing to Crawford can be portrayed as a more respectable result. Jeff also rejected the suggestion that Canelo was too young or inexperienced when he fought Floyd, pointing out that Alvarez was already an undefeated champion at the time. He further maintained that Crawford is an exceptional fighter, but when it comes specifically to defensive ability, Floyd's skills remain on another level.
We remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
but that was 30-something years old, 36.
Well, Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did.
Trainer Greg Hackett has reached a similar conclusion in the Mayweather-Crawford debate. While giving Crawford full credit for his accomplishments, Hackett still considers Mayweather the superior fighter. His reasoning centers heavily on Floyd's defensive awareness, strategic thinking, and ability to understand what was happening inside the ring. Crawford has built an extraordinary resume and remained unbeaten while competing across several divisions. But Hackett believes Mayweather's combination of defense, intelligence, consistency, and longevity gives him the stronger case when discussing all-time greatness. His opinion reflects one of boxing's most difficult questions. How do you compare a modern superstar still building his legacy with a legend whose career is already complete?
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
And the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has also rejected the suggestion that Crawford has already overtaken Mayweather. Hearn points toward the depth and timing of their respective resumes, arguing that Floyd consistently faced elite opposition throughout his career. In his assessment, some of Crawford's notable opponents were no longer at their absolute best when Bud met them. Hearn acknowledges that Crawford's victory over Canelo is an enormous achievement, perhaps one of the most important wins of his career, but he believes Mayweather's collection of major victories across multiple weight classes remains difficult to match. For Hearn, one extraordinary victory cannot automatically erase the body of work Mayweather accumulated over decades.
Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Or
No, I don't. But I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault. His resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. He's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, you know, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights. But a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. You know, even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. You know, I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, you know, Gamboa, you know, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get...
Armel Mouton has also remained firmly in Floyd Mayweather's corner when it comes to the greatest of all time discussion. Even with Crawford's recent rise and his remarkable performance against Canelo, Mouton continues to view Mayweather as the ultimate standard. He points to Floyd's perfect professional record, extraordinary defensive skills, tactical intelligence, and ability to remain dominant while competing in different divisions. Crawford deserves enormous recognition, but Mouton argues that true greatness must be measured over an entire career rather than through a single spectacular performance. Longevity, consistency, historical impact, and maintaining excellence at the highest level all matter. From that perspective, Mouton believes Crawford is an elite modern champion, while Mayweather still occupies a separate level in boxing history.
Sit with this because 2 pound-for-pound greats of this era. Canelo, we see the resume. Crawford, you know, 2-time undisputed, potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, you know, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. You know, we've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford look a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, really just, we're going to see tomorrow, you know, how it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. You know, I feel like it's even playing fields, and, you know, both guys coming ready, so we're just going to have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is great, but does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well, because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, of course, nobody will, but I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all.
Crawford has approached the constant comparisons with Mayweather from a different angle. Rather than spending his career trying to prove that he is better than Floyd, Bud has emphasized that every fighter should ultimately be judged according to the era in which they competed. Crawford believes he has established himself as the best fighter of his generation, just as Mayweather dominated his own era. His message is that greatness does not need to be borrowed from another legend. He wants his accomplishments to stand independently and create a legacy that belongs entirely to him. After the monumental victory over Canelo, however, Crawford's longtime trainer Brian "Bo Mac" McIntyre made it clear that Bud's next move should not be rushed. According to Bo Mac, Crawford had just completed one of the most demanding camps and biggest fights of his career, making recovery far more important than immediately discussing another opponent. 12 rounds at that level take a serious physical and mental toll. Rather than rushing back into training, Bomac suggested that Crawford step away, enjoy some downtime, and allow his body and mind to recover. Once that process is complete, they can begin discussing what the next chapter should look like.
We're going to get back in the gym. And we're going to assess that. And, you know, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for like, probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
It went for you.
Yeah.
And for you, me, Davis, appreciate you.
What you saying about training a half a year?
You trained almost a half a year for that fight, so you know what I'm saying. So that's why it was so sharp. You know, everybody.
Bernie the Boxer, a close supporter of Crawford, also expressed frustration after the Canelo contest. He argued that the official scorecards failed to fully capture how dominant Crawford looked during portions of the fight, insisting that the team felt they had been treated unfairly by the scoring. In his view, Bud dictated the pace, controlled the distance, and consistently demonstrated the cleaner fundamentals. He believes several rounds that appeared competitive were actually being controlled by Crawford and should have been scored more clearly in his favor. Although Crawford still received the unanimous decision, Bernie's reaction shows how emotional judging controversies can become, even when the official result itself is not in doubt.
It's the second time he destroyed every myth. Can he take the punch? Is he strong? Is this guy too strong? Man, he did everything. He did everything. Didn't he? Stood and fought with him. See how he
was in the pocket. Was in the pocket.
Turned him. Did everything. Talking about he too strong. Turned him a couple times. Pushed him.
Mayweather has an especially interesting perspective because he already knows what it takes to solve Canelo inside the ring. Floyd defeated Alvarez in 2013 when Canelo was still undefeated and rapidly becoming one of boxing's biggest stars. That victory became one of the defining performances of Mayweather's career, showcasing his ability to read an opponent, control distance, and frustrate an aggressive fighter through defense and timing. Now Crawford has accomplished something of his own against the same opponent, and Mayweather appears eager to see how his abilities would compare with Bud's. By putting Crawford in his sights, Floyd is once again inserting himself into a conversation about the very best fighters of the modern era. Whether this is genuine competitive interest, promotion, or simply another example of Mayweather keeping his name at the center of boxing remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the possibility alone has fans talking.
Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. Yeah. And he was like, that was when he was
No, he
at
was
prime,
in his
right?
prime, yeah.
Prime, and you're only 23?
23.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, beat him. If you beat him, you want to be the best in the world. I'm 23, so imagine that. But you know, he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter. So
now the big question is this: if Floyd Mayweather really wants to test himself against Terence Crawford, could we be looking at one of boxing's most fascinating fantasy matchups becoming reality? Or has the time come for Floyd to remain retired and allow Crawford to continue building his own legacy? Let us know where you stand in the comments. Who would you favor if these two legends actually shared the ring?